Hey there, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Harvest Moon by Neil Young. For the basics of this song, you'll need a guitar in drop D tuning, which means you'll just need to take your low E string down until it's a D note, which sounds like that. Once you've detuned the low E string, just make sure all your other strings are in tunes. So A, D, G, B, E, and you're good to go. If you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarzerotohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you're fairly new to guitar and you're looking to build a strong and solid foundation, but you don't know where to start, then be sure to check out the Guitar Zero to Hero Premium course and membership, which gives you all the guidance to play with confidence. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Let's jump into the lesson. Now for this song, you can use a guitar pick if you want, but I'm going to just be using my fingers to strum because that's how Neil Young does it. Now in terms of how I strum with my fingers, I almost pretend as if I'm actually holding a guitar pick. So my index finger and my thumb are held together, but very lightly. And when I'm brushing with down strums, it's a combination of the side of my thumb and the edge of my index finger that brush onto the strings. And on an up strum, it's more of the side of my thumb that is brushing on the strings. So if you just kind of pretend as if you're holding a pick like that, that's how you can strum with your fingers. Let's start with the intro, which is just 2 bars of music, and this is more or less the main riff of the song. To start off, we'll have our middle finger on the 11th fret of the 3rd string, and our index finger on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. And you can let the 1st string ring out here. We're going to start with a downstroke, but we're going to focus more so on the top 2 or 3 strings of our guitar, so the 6th and 5th strings. On the next down strum, which is on the 2 beat, we're going to just focus on the higher 4 strings. So 1 and 2. For the second half of this bar, we're going to alter our chord shape. We'll take our ring finger and put it on the 12th fret of the 2nd string. You can keep your index finger where it is. And we're going to strum this with a down, up, and then lift our ring finger back to our original position for another down, up. So the second half, 3 and 4 and... Now in terms of rhythm, this song has a swing feel to it. So what that means is that the down strums are actually held out a tiny bit longer than the up strums. So it would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Notice how those down strums or those down beats are held out longer than the up strums, which are fairly quick. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... With straight feel, the downstrokes and the upstrokes would be equal in time, which would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... But we want that swing feel. And all together for the first bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... For the second bar, we'll shift positions. So we'll now get into this shape here. So ring finger now on the 11th fret of the 3rd string, middle finger on the 10th fret of the 2nd, and index finger on the 9th fret of the 1st string. So like that. Now for the first down strum of this second bar, again we're just focusing on the heavier 6th and 5th strings, like that. And because we're just focusing on those heavier strings, that gives you the chance to transition to this chord shape as we're just focusing on those open strings. So after that first downstroke, we're going to immediately go with an upstroke on the higher strings, hold that out, and another up strum, and then end with a up, down, up. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and together with the first bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's it for the intro. That riff, those 2 bars of music, is played through 4 times. Next we move to the verse, and there's 2 lines of tab here. So for the first line of tab, we're just going to be playing more or less an E minor 7 chord. Now with our guitar in drop D, we'll have our middle and ring finger on the 2nd frets of the 6th and 5th strings, like that. And we can have all the other strings ringing out as well. We're going to play this with a down, down, up, up, down, up strumming pattern for the first bar, but we're also going to hammer our chord shape into place on the first down strum. And that will sound like this. And then continue on. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Or down, down, up, up, down, up. And then for the second bar, we just continue on with a constant eighth note strumming pattern, just all downs and ups. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the first and second bar together. Down, down, up, down, up. And that's repeated through again. So the first line of tab, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, if that hammer on is too difficult for you or it's giving you issues, then you don't need to hammer into it. You can just hold the chord shape and just play the regular strumming pattern. Down, down, up, down, up, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, like that. Now for the second line of tab, we're going to get into a D chord shape. Now what I want you to focus on first is rhythmic direction, and then later on you can fine tune the specific notes that you want to be targeting. But for now, let's just focus on rhythmic direction of the strumming and where the chord changes lie, and then you can fine tune it later. So in this D chord shape, we're going to strum this with a down, down, up, down, up, down, up for the first bar. And we don't need to change our chord position at all. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So notice how that's down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now for the second bar, we're going to stay in this chord shape for one more down strum. So one more down strum there, and this is where we're going to change our chord shapes. So you'll just bar your index finger across the second frets of the third, second, and first strings. So this is a D major 7, and we're going to hit this with the next upstroke and downstroke. So up, down, and then you're going to move your index finger up so that it's barring across the second frets of the fourth and third string. So just shift that index finger up, and that's on the next up strum. And we really just want to focus on the fifth, fourth, and third strings here on that up strum. If you happen to hit other strings around it, that's okay, but we kind of do just want to focus on that, on the up strum. So from the first down strum of the second bar. And one more time. So notice how it's just down, up, but we have three chord shapes there. Down, up, up. We hold that out, and then for the last part of the bar, we're just going to get into this position. So put our ring finger on the fourth fret of the fourth string and middle finger on the third fret of the second string. Now, if that is a little bit of a stretch for you, then you can just focus on that ring finger on the fourth fret of the fourth string. We're going to strum this with the last up, down, up. Now the bar in total, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And a bit faster, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And together with the first bar. So notice how those chord changes occur on the end beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the third and the fourth bar are identical to the first and the second bar. So it's just repeated again. And that's it for the verse, which sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now I'll quickly teach you a different way in which you can play the verse, which is a lot of fun and sounds quite different to the first way I've showed you. If you watch videos of Neil Young playing this live, he uses one of these two variations depending on how he feels. So for this second variation, instead of playing the E minor chord and strumming it like we did in the first method, we're going to be playing a whole bunch of natural harmonics. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our ring finger and we're going to place it above the fret strip dividing the 12th fret and the 13th fret. So you're just going to hover that ring finger there and touch the strings. Now we're not pushing down on the string, we're not fretting the string, we are just making contact with the string. And then when you pluck a string, you're going to get that chimey natural harmonic sound, which sounds beautiful. So that ring finger will be covering 4 strings there, from the 1st to the 4th string. We're going to pluck 1st, 2nd, and then 3rd, 4th, and then one final harmonic on the 7th fret of the 5th string. Now that's the fret strip dividing 7th fret and 8th fret. We place our index finger just above that fret strip, and we pluck that string, and that's how you get that final harmonic. Again, you just make contact with the string, you don't actually push it down. And all together. And that covers 2 bars of music. We repeat that again, and then we play the second line of tab. So this is method number 2 of playing the verse, which Neil Young uses in some of his live performances. Next, we get to a pre-chorus section, which is fairly easy. We're going to start off with what we're going to call the G chord. So we're going to take our ring and pinky finger and put them on the 5th frets of the 6th and 5th string. And we can just strum up to the 2nd string. There's no need to play the 1st string there. You can have that muted if you'd like. Now we're going to play this G chord with the same strumming pattern that we did with the E minor chord. So for the first bar, it will be down, up, down. And then for the second bar, we just continue on with a constant down-up strumming pattern. Now, of course, these are strumming pattern suggestions, so feel free to experiment yourself. As long as it's within that 8th note strumming pattern framework, then you should be good. And the 3rd and the 4th bar are just repetitions of the 1st and 2nd. So the first line of tab, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then the second line of tab is just the intro riff played through twice. And we've already learnt that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Next we get to the chorus, which is really simple. There's just 2 lines of chords here. We're going to start with an A7 sus4, which is quite simple. It's just our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string and ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Now we're strumming from the 5th string onwards, so we want that 6th string muted, and to do that you can just lightly reach your thumb over the top to touch that 6th string. So that's our A7 sus4. Now for the first bar of this, we're going to strum this with a down, down, up, down, up. And then for the second bar, it's just a constant down-up strumming pattern. So the A7 sus4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we move to an A7 chord. So there's a couple of ways you can fret this. From the A7 sus4, you can just lift your ring finger and put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, like that if you want. Or you can shift your ring finger down 1 fret and put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And that's how I'm going to play my A7, but you can play it like this as well if you'd like. There's 2 bars of this A7, and we're going to use the same strumming patterns that we did for the A7 sus4. So the second line of chords is basically identical, except when we get to this final bar of the A7, we're just going to strum it and let it ring out. And that's it for the chorus, which sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. After the first chorus, we then have a break, which is identical to the intro. We're just playing that main riff through 4 times. After the break, there's another verse, pre-chorus and chorus, so nothing new to learn there. After the second chorus, there's another break, and then we get to the harmonica solo section. For the harmonica solo section, there's 4 lines of tab here. For the first line of tab, we're strumming that G chord, similar to what we did in the pre-chorus. But then for the second line of tab, this is similar to the second line of tab in the verse, where we're playing that D chord riff. And then the 3rd and the 4th line of tab are basically the same as the pre-chorus. So the G chord and then the main riff. That's the harmonica solo section, which will sound like this in total. After that harmonica solo, there's a third chorus, which is the same as the other choruses, and then the outro, which is the same as the intro. And we end on one final chord, which is a D chord that looks like this. So we're going to bar our index finger across the second frets of the third, second, and first strings, put our ring finger on the fourth fret of the fourth string, and our middle finger on the third fret of the second string. And you can strum all the strings there. It's a beautiful D chord. Now in terms of structure, we have the intro, verse 1, pre-chorus 1, chorus 1, then the break, verse 2, pre-chorus 2, chorus 2, then a break, then harmonica solo section, chorus 3, and then the outro. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song, and I'll have a vocal track on top for some context. A big thanks to my friend Eric for lending his awesome vocals to this playthrough. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
Say
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here. Or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.